Wagwan. This is 1878 Casuals. I'm your man Sinatra. I'm here with Bad Face. We're here at Lucky Baldwin's. It's a Hammer / Scouser bar, Pasadena, California. So we just watched probably one of the worst games of the season. You know, continually now we're creating chances, we're dominating the game, and we're not finishing our chances and doing what we need to do. I mean, we had enough chances today where a draw would have been
a bad result.
A bad result, honestly. And to be honest with you, they didn't really have too many. West Ham didn't have too many chances in their own right. And for De Gea to give up a really, really soft shot like that, Ben Rama getting away. You know, we're not muscling him off the ball. He gets a weak shot in, and De Gea should have a stronger right hand. And just, you know, West Ham, they wanted it more than we did today. You know, they needed the points. They're now 7 points off the bottom, and it's looking tight for us. You know, a lot of people are still saying we're secure for the top four. I don't feel secure. I don't know how anybody else feels, but I still feel like there's a lot of work to do. And we hoped maybe going out of the Europa League would help us now with the fixture count being down a little bit, but still, you know, these injuries, things like that. Casemiro's not the same player he was before his suspension. Eriksen's not the player he was before his injury. And the lineup today, we should have had Sabitzer in there. Weghorst was useless, and I get it. They got tall center halves. We need a tall guy in there. But that, in theory, that makes sense. But when does Weghorst ever win any header? When does he ever hold the ball up? When does he ever battle against the center halves? Like, the guy is just a liability. He's got all the tools to be a great striker. And if he was a great striker, we sure shit wouldn't have signed him because he'd be $100 million. So, you know, and then you could say, oh, he could have played Martial. Martial did nothing today, you know. Anthony, we didn't really have a lot of clear-cut chances, a lot of shots from outside the box. We still had enough that we should have buried something. And it's another frustrating day. It's frustrating that we've never lost to David Moyes, and here we are losing to David Moyes away. Our away record has been just awful this year. And I don't know what we have to do to correct it, but say that we're just not a work in progress. That's all we are. We're a work in progress. There's a lot that needs to be done in the summer. We got to get these fucking Glazers out ASAP. We got to know what we have in the summer to spend. We've got to have a plan. All these other teams are got plans in place and things, and we're still dealing with the same crap we deal with every year. So frustrated. How are you feeling, Face?
Frustration is a good word. It's not being clinical is hurting us. Definitely. I don't know what's going on. We start good and we're drifting off. In the less amount of games, you thought we'd have more energy, but it seems like this team needs more games or something because we stay interested in it. But just a gut-wrenching defeat. David De Gea we didn't deserve that goal. They didn't deserve that goal. He didn't deserve to do that to I thought defensively we played great, Cakes. But
soft.
You know, I feel like this team Ten Hag's got to play the guys he trusts. He's got to play our best 11. I'm not questioning the boss, but the Wu thing didn't work. I didn't understand it.
Sabitzer probably came in too late, right?
I'm telling you, Bruno on the right, Sabitzer number 10 is our best way to go because it's an active team, it's a smart team, it's a team that's going to play defense and hold possession.
Does Rashford have to play up top? Like, we don't have anybody else that can play up top, right? Like, Rashford has to be the 9.
That's not a bad shout. I'm telling you, we look better. Our best game of late was when we had Sancho, Rashi, and Bruno up there. That's what it is. I know that we are, I don't know. I think the boss has got to play his best guys right now. And it's got to be Rashi up front. Martial is just not, I don't know what's going on, but for someone who's in a contract situation, there's a lot of guys who just should be playing for their lives and they're not doing it. But it's a terrible loss. It's a terrible loss. We now are in a fight, but
it's fine. They deserved that win. We didn't turn up.
David gave them that win.
We didn't turn up. You know, and you know, when you have situations like that, and we were talking about it in the pub, you know, De Gea's got to the point where he's either like brilliant and he's saving it top corner, or he's having a howler. And it's, you know, I've defended him long enough. I think It just shows you there's a lot of positions. We say, oh, maybe 3 signings. It shows you, how the residual screwing that the Glazers have given us. We're still having to deal with things. There's things that we should have dealt with years ago. We're still part of the problem. I don't know. What do you think, Patchy?
I mean, it's been the issue for us the last, maybe handful of games is that we're not clinical. We can't finish, and
players that are normally clinical players, right? Like Rashford, Anthony, Bruno, and the last couple of games they look like we're not even having shot practice.
Well, we said it before is that Rashford's on fire. That's all well and good and stuff, but when those goals dry up, who are we getting the goals from? I mean,
nobody.
The midfield and the front players, Sancho, Rashford, Casemiro, all them cats are good for a goal every now and then, but it's not going to be consistent enough to get us the results that we need. And so Rashford's goals have now, from the looks of it, dried up. So where are we getting those goals from? And, we had some shots outside today that, it should have been 4-1 by 30 minutes, or it should have been 4-0 by 30 minutes, but we're taking shots outside the box and stuff like that, which is all well and good. At least we're taking shots, but, we should have finished at least 1 or 2 of those, and we just couldn't do it. And again, that's been the problem the last handful of games or so, is that we don't have anybody that can really score goals for us right now because Rashford is not banging them in like he should have.
Here's the other point. Everyone's talking, we need a striker. Even with a striker that scores 20 goals a season or whatever, we still have to have somebody else banging them in, right?
It can't just be all on the striker.
It can't be all on one. So even if we brought someone in that scores 20 goals, he doesn't score today. Who else is
going to do it? I mean, you would hope that Fernandez, that Sancho, that Eriksen, Casemiro, Anthony would be stepping up when the time calls for it. But Anthony had some shots today. Casemiro had one today. Rashford had a few, and we couldn't score any of them. I mean, that's a worry, especially going into the FA Cup final.
And we really weren't working Fabianski. He didn't make any, where you said, wow, that's a great save.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
There was maybe one. There was maybe one out of 90 minutes. And even at the 65th minute, I was like, bring on Garnacho, inject some pace. He's not fit. He's not ready to come on and play for 30 minutes yet.
It just shows you got him on the bench and we can't even use him. That's how thin in the ranks we are. And apparently he doesn't trust Pellistri. I guess we all thought Pellistri was at a different level, but Pellistri's probably going to be gone now in the summertime. Because if you're not playing Pellistri now, when we need players, we need the depth, and he's not even in the squad, what does that say?
Yeah, it's very telling. And ultimately, like we've said for videos and games before, who's going to be our impact player off the bench? I would have put my money on Garnacho, but he didn't.
I thought maybe Sancho today, because Sancho, he's had decent form the last couple of games, but we were pedestrian today.
He's got to play his guys, man. He can't be no more experiments.
He's got to play the guys you trust. It's crunch time,
It's hard to fault Ten Hag because he doesn't have a lot of choices right now. The
really
squad
doesn't.
is what it is.
Well,
we didn't back him in January, where you look at a team like Chelsea that's totally crap, and we should have had João Felix. That should have been a no-brainer. And you look at Chelsea getting all those deals done, and we're still sitting here with our hands in our pockets, not knowing what we're doing.
Yeah, nothing we can do about that shit now.
Yeah, I mean, the only hope is that all the bullshit gets sorted out by summertime. By the time the transfer window comes around, we get funds allocated to
these fucking Glazers are still talking about they might give a decision this month. This shit was supposed to be done in March.
Yeah, the Glazers are just jerking everybody off right now.
Yeah.
They're probably going to still be owners next season. I think they probably like the Ineos deal the best because they still have. It's one of those things where it's the FOMO, right? It's the FOMO. Right now, they've hired the best coach. They've hired their entire tenure. The trajectory is looking good. United, it looks like we could be on our way back if we get the right things done. And I feel like there's that FOMO there, that fear of missing out, where if they sell the club now and all of a sudden we're winning Champions Leagues and Premier Leagues and cups and stuff every year and going like we used to,
they'll look like fools.
Yeah.
Where if they stay involved, it looks like they were part of the plan all along. And it's
Yeah.
like, can't they just throw their ego out the window for a minute and just focus on the damn hand egg, get Tampa Bay another Super Bowl, and leave us
No, they're done.
damn crap alone. Glazers out. That's it for me. I don't know if anybody else has anything.
That's
but-
it.